Hello, and welcome back to the Lightbulb podcast. I'm your host, Johnson, and I'm by myself. There's no one really here, and I need to get one out before the weekends. So I decided, you know what, since I'm already, home alone, there's no one else at home, I'll just go ahead and, make a quick little podcast. So first off, I want to go ahead and say that, I have big plans for this year. What I mean by these big plans is one, more solo podcasts, because this is what originally I just want to go ahead and make podcasts with my friends, have a fun time telling the amount of, cryptid and lucid shit that we usually do with and without drugs. But this is mostly just for me to just go ahead and talk one on one with, me and my audience. And there's been a lack of one on one conversations, which I feel like is something that I have to bring back. And it'll be easier on me because one, it's less editing, and two, it's less preparation. Now, for the editing, both me and you can agree that it's just simple editing. I get an image, a backdrop for the image, go ahead, slap on the logo, the name, the episode number, the episode title. I use the same thing for my thumbnail, except I just switch up the colors to white so it can go ahead and bring in, it's more eye grabbing to the eye, consider the fact that a lot of people are mostly using dark mode on YouTube. But another thing is the editing, and well, I'm already talking about editing. Anyway, but with the editing, it requires less work, less censorship, less time to go ahead and review each audio, censor out names, slurs, unnecessary curse words, maybe any interruptions, cut it up, splice it up a bit. And I really don't do a lot of audio editing since I'm still not, comfortable in that field, and I don't think I'm going to be doing any audio editing in the time being. So, yeah, if the quality sounds bad or if you hear something in the background, it's because, one, as you would know, I've been recording all of these audios on my phone, which doesn't have the best noise suppression, so I try my best to minimize it. So I usually don't have anything that can, be disruptive to me. I usually close down all the windows to make sure that, you can't hear anything, and it's just me, you, and the four walls that surround me. But another thing is why I don't, make these audio files on my computer itself is because that requires me to go ahead and have a good mic. And I tested out the audio of my mic to see the audio quality. It's not the best considering the fact I'm using a headset microphone, which isn't really that special. It's mostly used just for getting a message out in a game and carrying on with your everyday life. I would invest in a microphone, but due to recent events of me just losing my wallet apparently in the streets of New York, I have no other option but to wait a little bit. And I'm not really that tempted to go ahead and get my card, my wallet, and all that brand new replaced and all that. And you know what? I noticed one thing. I feel a little bit, more I'm more free at mind when I don't have my wallet on me, especially when I go outside. Not sure if brings back an old feeling of back before I had a job and such, and I really didn't have to worry about constantly having to worry about money to see if I have enough money to go spend outside, transportation, all that. It puts me back at at a much younger time of my age when I was 13, 12 and all that. And, I didn't travel a lot. I usually stayed within the area. I mean, I still do stay within the area. It's just I don't go to Manhattan Queens, the other boroughs, or like different places in the state. And you know what? It made my life a little bit more simpler. Surely I can go ahead and buy whatever I want outside now. Like I can just go ahead and buy myself drinks, food if I have to. And that's good because I'm saving more money. And considering the fact the only job I have in the meantime of recording this is my side gig, which I'll talk about later. Money is pretty scarce for me right now, and considering the fact I did lose $100 in cash because of my wallet, I'm still doing perfectly fine with the amount of money I have in my bank. Now, that being said, I wouldn't mind, going ahead and purchasing things online, which is probably when I'm going to have to go ahead, bite the bullet and go ahead and get all my things replaced, especially since I'm being forced to now. Since my building decided to go ahead and say, hey, we're going to go ahead and replace your NFC keys. And that means you have to go ahead and bring your ID, bring papers and such, because apparently my passport or anything else doesn't have my address on it. Go figure. So that's probably what I'm going to be doing today after this podcast. After I eat, I'll probably go to the DMV, go to the bank, establish some things. Not sure if I need money because I know I have to go ahead and pay a replacement fee for my ID and such. So I'll probably do that in another time. But besides that, I feel like, things got a lot more simpler. Now, speaking about how I lost this wallet, I feel like this is a story that is best told by, with the group of people that I lost it with, because that entire day was just absolutely cryptid, especially how long it took me to realize that I lost my wallet and, the breakdown that followed after it, which I feel like that'll be the story, like I said previously, told better with the people that I've been accompanied. God, I'm tired. I'm genuinely tired. But that's not going to stop me because, I have content to give out, and especially since one of my main New Year resolution was to, start making more episodes, more consistent with my schedule at least. I kind of put myself in a corner and, I kind of have to follow it. But overall, I would say, things could be worse. But speaking about my new opportunity, my side job, my little gig, if you will, it's on Fiverr. And it's honestly, it's taken a little bit of a toll on me. Because in fact, I realized, because they're like, oh, you like your if you like your hobbies, then you should go ahead and make money off of it. Not sure how the saying goes, but I did decide to do that, and I undercharged. I underestimated what type of shit I'll be running into. Now, surely I could have denied these orders and moved on with my life, waiting for the next person, but I've been so eager when I first saw my first order, my first message, someone contacted me saying they were interested in my, gig, and they wanted me to go ahead and, write them something. I was like, oh, sure, why not? I will write you, whatever you want, especially since you chose like 4 pages. I could easily knock that down, but then, oh boy, it turned into a whole mess. Now I'm writing chapters instead of pages. And these chapters are estimated to be somewhere around 2 pages each. Well, he ordered 4 pages. So I talked to him and I said, you know what? How about this? We go ahead, we split down these 2 chapters into 2 pages each. And then we can go ahead and figure out something for the other chapters, because 2 chapters is not giving me a lot of, leeway with what I can be writing, considering the fact that, you made right out this entire chapter plan, and looking at it, This is a multi-series thing, and I'll be damned if I have to go ahead and only get paid a small amount of it. So I'll probably go ahead, make it more fair for him to make him that he's able to receive more content with his money's worth, if I may well say so. And you know what? I feel like that'll be going pretty good too. I have another potential buyer coming through saying that he's interested, but he'll only give me an answer within a week. So I'm kind of, hoping to God it's nothing cryptid. Looking at his buyers, what you call it, the buyers, whatever the hell you call it, the seller, yeah, sellers, like reviews on like how hard he was to work with, how easy he was to work with. He turns out to be, a decent person, but then I look at his commissions and I was like, okay, anime non-safe for work drawings and sending 500 images of the 3 anime characters that you wanted, and it's just outsourcing Google search. So that's nice, but money is money, and you gotta get creative with these gigs one way or another. So full props to all my side hustlers on Fiverr for actually doing this as a side job. Me, I want to do it as a side job, but mostly importantly, I just want to go ahead and have fun with it too, which is why I put myself out there for the very, very degenerative people. So, sex sells, as some people say, and they were not joking when they say that it does sell pretty well. Like, I can already see myself potentially. And usually I'm not the type of person to go ahead and say, I made it across without, jumping over the river. But I see the potential, I see the growth, and I can see the money hopefully trickling in soon, little by little. But in the meantime, I just realized I can't get paid because I don't have my card. That's probably another reason why I should probably get my card done. The faster I get it done, the faster I can go ahead and figure shit out. But the faster I also get it done, the more money I'm going to be spending. And honestly, I need to be saving up money because, one, I want to go ahead and buy at least somewhat of a decent mic so I can at least record these podcasts on my computer. And since NVIDIA has a special feature for recording audio where it has built-in noise suppression, I'll be like, fuck yeah, I'll gladly take the noise suppression because it will save me so much trouble. It'll make these audios more crisp, and I feel like it'll be a good investment. And also, I wouldn't mind getting a new mouse, headset, but that's for when the time comes. But I think that's pretty much all I can say about what's been going on in the meantime. But for now, I did mention this a couple of times in the podcast already, my New Year's resolution. Let's get a little bit personal. You probably know me from my Instagram, from my Discord, somewhere around the places, and believe it or not, I work out. And I posted some videos of me hitting PRs, especially bench PRs. Nothing about deadlifts yet, since I'm still not confident about deadlifts. Squats, well, I just have to record one. It's not like I skipped leg day. Actually, I did skip it yesterday because I didn't feel like going outside whatsoever. But I do work out. And my main goal for last year was supposedly to hit 225, which, for those who don't go to the gym, that's 45 times 4 plus the bar, which is 45 pounds too. So in conclusion, 2 plates on each side. And I feel like that's a good line for like people around my age, especially my body weight, which is around 177 pounds currently this morning. And I kind of also want to bulk up to 200 pounds because, one, I just want to be a big boy. I just want to be a big, meaty boy and, appeal to older girls with mental health problems. But, God, excuse my nose, please. It's a little bit clogged up. Matter of fact, I think I'm gonna go ahead and just grab a tissue real quick, which, mind you, is my box stand, actually, my phone stand for today's episode. So if you excuse me real quickly, I'll just. Oh, good lord, it's absolutely shit right now. Oh god. Oh. I feel a little bit better now. Now, I do apologize for that, and I'm probably going to leave it in the podcast because I could give a rat's ass about going ahead and, censoring that out, but it is what it is. And another goal I would like to hit is hopefully the 1, 2, 3, 4, which at first sounds pretty weird, but let me explain. The 1, 2, 3, 4 is a specific gym PR hit list that I want to hit personally, which is 1 plate on each side for overhead press / multi press. I don't know the difference between the two. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they're probably the same workout, just a little bit of a different variation, but they still target mostly the same muscles. 2 plates on bench, which is 225, as I said previously. 3 plate squat, which I generally don't know how much that is. Hold on a minute, 225 plus 90, that's going to be 115? Yeah, 115 pounds. And for the last one, which is the 4, I want to hit a 4 plate deadlift, which is 405. Now, I really don't care about looking aesthetically built. And, I'll probably will later, eventually in the future, once I finally, accumulate enough, experience, years under my belt. I'll probably go on a cut, and if I do hit, my body weight goal, which is hopefully not what I look like right now, because consider, like, my body dysmorphia, it got some hands, to say the least. It's making me think, I'm weak, I'm strong, I have a belly. I even looked in the mirror today in the morning after a night, before eating anything. And, I can still see that kind of, like, belly. But then again, I also fully understand that that's how the body works. Usually you start your belly off in the morning extremely flat. Then once you hit evening and, after a day of consuming calories, eating food, yada, 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 it'll pop up a little bit because, you gotta break, your stomach is still breaking down the food and such. And, there's no shame in that, but it still fucks with your mental image. It still heavily fucks with your mental image. But besides just weightlifting goal, another goal that I have, which is very personal, is I want to go ahead and try to fix connections with my mom and dad, because I will admit it, I'm not the best son that they could have asked for. I am the son that they got instead. And that's perfectly fine. Like, you don't have to be the best for your parents. I feel like if I ever had kids, I just want them to be happy, to do good in school, and to live a happy life. No matter, if they're a boy, girl, son, they, them, I don't care. I just want them to be happy. And I want grandkids too, but that'll come down eventually, later down my life. It's just those small things that I keep in the back of my mind, and, sometimes I look back and I'm like, am I really going to accomplish these goals? But then I realize, I'm not a bad person, as I pay myself constantly, and, as other people paid me. I'm better than that, and there's obviously still more room for improvement. I'm not saying I'm like God's perfect and being a delusional piece of shit, but we're only human after all. And when you're just human, you have a very short, confined time, period, like time space. And obviously, there's people here saying, people will live even on more and more, even to the point where some might be immortal, living and, having their conscious mind uploaded to the AI world, to the computer world, living as an AI, yada, yada, yada. Me personally, I'm not sure if I'll be able to live to see that day. But who knows? I might be wrong. You might be listening to this podcast down 20, 10 years later, and we might already have that technology. And if we do, then I'm not sure if I'm going to be on that line because I don't know. This is a very, very confusing topic. I've been spacing in and out while talking about this, and honestly, I don't know how we got here. I went talking about how I want to fix my bonds with my parents, and then now we ended up here. So I think it's best if I go back to track. And another thing I want to do is actually get a decent job. Not like a side job like I'm doing on Fiverr, but like, something with a suitable income. I'll take anything for now. 15, 16, 17, $18 an hour. I'll take it. Money is money, and I would be damned if I have to go ahead and wait for an internship to accept me, because I need the money for all these plans I'm going to be having later down the line. It's best to have it now than ever. But yeah, my plans, they're simple to say the least. And, it's nothing special. I would consider myself, they're personal, but they're nothing out of the blue. They're nothing like, world domination or like trying to bang fucking that one fucking girl from Wednesday, Jen Ortega, or whatever the fuck it is. It's something realistic, considering with how things are right now for me. They sound very realistic. I mean, who knows? Tomorrow is not guaranteed, and it might not, be possible anymore. But that might be possible the next day. So, I mean, yeah, I really don't know what to say after I just went into that full on immersion about, like life and death itself. That's pretty fucking weird. But, this podcast, it was meant for these type of things. It was meant to just show the more relaxed, comfortable version of myself. Now, obviously, I can't be comfortable enough to go ahead and say people's name and my own name, because I appreciate my own privacy, and considering I tell some very rancid stories on these podcasts, I prefer if my name wasn't being said in all these stories. Now, for some listeners, you probably already know how I look. You probably know who I am, even to a point, but it's really not that necessary. And I prefer to be, your little anonymous voice while you go ahead and, do your work, or while you're scrolling down on Instagram, or just listening to me in the background background noise. And honestly, that's perfectly fine. I still get the views, I still get the watch time. I'm not complaining. But I will say one thing. I appreciate, the small things in life, and that is, my viewers. Because while I'm sitting down here and, it's just me and a couple of handful of people, I'm able to go ahead and, talk to you one-on-one, make it personal. Now, surely I might not know all the name of my viewers, and I might not know who's listening at what time specifically. But if you're listening to this podcast, you either A, know my face and know me in real life, and you know what? That's perfectly fine. B, you know me on Instagram. I did post my face there a couple of times, but, nothing that can really fully give me away. And considering how my body is changing and growing up, I feel like it would be hard to distinguish me from, my real face. Or see your art from some random algorithm that sent you to this video. You might be searching about light bulbs and you stumble upon this podcast. And if you do, I would say thank you, because you're really helping me out. You're really going ahead and telling me that, you know what, people that are outside of my comfort zone, out of my friend groups, out of my mutual friends, or just people I just respect and know, you guys are watching the podcast. And honestly, I'm thankful for that. But that being said, this podcast has been going on for about 26 minutes, and I really don't know what else to say. So instead of wasting your time and my own time too, just rambling about nonsense, I'll be signing off. It's been your host, Johnson, and yeah, I'll see you whenever. Adios.